Hi, welcome to O-Level Elementary Mathematics course. I'm Christina, and I studied at CHRUA St. Teresa's Convent and Catholic Junior College where I did my O and A level respectively. I scored both A1 for my elementary math and additional math, and also an A in my H2 mathematics. I have been giving elementary math tuition since 2013, so I have a great understanding of what are the common mistakes that students usually make, and also the topics that they struggle in. Hence, in this course, I have selected those that are important for students to take note of. In topic 1, numbers and their operations, the following is the overview, and we'll be focusing on the use of symbols in this video. So before we begin, we will actually recap on the meaning of the symbols. This is important to know what the symbol means, especially for such inequality question, as they will ask what is the smallest or greatest integer in that inequality. So this is important for you to understand the meaning of the symbols. Conventional writing of the inequalities. So it is important that you usually will use both less than sign in the inequalities, and that we always put the smallest number on the left side. So this is incorrect because 15 is greater than 9, and that it shouldn't be on the left side, and that we shouldn't be using a greater sign in the inequalities. Same goes for those negative numbers. It is important to know that negative number is always smaller than positive numbers. And so we will put our negative numbers at the left hand side and our positive number on the right hand side. Important to note that I'll be using such abbreviation left hand side and right hand side in this video. Moving on, this is a simple example. 3x more than or equals to 6. So we will actually bring 3 over to the right hand side, where it will be 6 divided by 3, and the whole inequality becomes x greater than or equals to 2. In your working, never ever put the equal sign in such inequality questions, because it doesn't make sense in a mathematics working. So just take note of your working whenever you do your questions. Moving on, additional and subtraction of inequalities. So in this question, example 1, we will actually bring 5 from the left hand side to the left hand side. And when we do that, it becomes 6 minus 5. And the inequality will be x less than 1. So take note, when you bring a positive 5 over to the other side of the inequality, it becomes a minus sign. Example 2, I want to bring my x minus 5 over to 6. So now I want to bring negative 5 to the right hand side. When I do so, it becomes x plus 5. So the inequality becomes x more than 11. So take note again, when you bring a negative number over to the other side of the equation, it becomes addition. Multiplication and division of inequalities. So in example 1a, we have 3x plus 5 less than 0. So what we'll do first is we'll bring 5 over to the right hand side, and then subsequently we'll divide 3 so that we will just get x at the left hand side. So our answer here will be a x less than negative 5 over 3. In question B, 1/3 x more than 5. So in this question, we want to bring our 1/3 over to 5. So what we do is that we multiply 3 across, and we get x less than x more than 15, because it's 5 times 3. So there's actually no change in the inequality sign since it is multiplied or divided by a positive number. But in example 2, we will actually multiply or divide by a negative number, and watch what's the differences in the inequality sign. So in example 2a, negative 3x more than 5. So because I want only x at the left hand side, I'll divide the inequalities with negative 3x, with negative 3. So now it becomes x less than negative 5 over 3. So from a greater than becomes a less than. Next. Negative 1/3 x more than 5. So because I only want x at the left hand side, I'll multiply negative 3 throughout the equation. This will be x less than negative 5. So there's a change in equation in the inequality sign again, from a greater than to a less than. So it's important to take note that there's a change of the sign when it is multiplied or divided by a negative number. The inequality sign will actually reverse. So this is usually the common mistake that students will make when they do inequality question, especially when it comes to negative numbers, when you multiply or divide by it. Okay, so please take note of your inequality sign when there's an involvement of negative numbers, especially for multiplication and division. So, common type of inequality questions that we actually have in our O-level papers is to actually find the greatest and smallest integer that satisfy this inequality. Okay, so take some minutes to actually do this question before you proceed on to the answers. You may pause the video while you are doing the questions. So, let's go through the answer. So first, we will actually get rid of the 2. So we will actually minus 2 at left hand side and right hand side, where we will get negative 10 and 5. So now because we only want x in the middle, so we divide negative 5 throughout. And it's because we divide by negative 5, there will be a change of sign of the inequality sign. So take note, less than or equals to becomes a greater than or equals to. A less than becomes a greater than. So because now looking at it, negative number is actually on the right hand side, and the positive number is on the left hand side. So remember, we have to rearrange the numbers to this. This is the correct convection. So after we get this, we need to find what is the greatest and smallest integer number. So looking at this question, what will be the greatest? Since x is less than or equals to 2. That will give us the greatest integer number of 2. And what will be the smallest integer? Since negative 3 is less than x, we will actually have the smallest integer as negative 2. Why not negative 3 is not? Because negative 3 is not inclusive in this inequality. Hence, the next smallest number will actually be negative 2. I hope you get your answer. So to recap, we have actually just went through the use of the symbols. Please do remember the meaning of the symbols and also the change in signs when it comes to a negative number in multiplication and division. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you.